Hi, my name is Cheryl Barnes, and I'm a dietetics major at Missouri State. My presentation is about probiotic supplementation, and is the answer to GI trouble really bacteria? Oh, what does it not change the slide? Oh, there we go. Okay. So the global probiotics market is estimated to be worth about $24 billion by 2017. And this includes probiotic dairy products, supplements, and specialty foods. So the popularity of probiotics has increased quite a bit. And in a survey from 2012, about 4 million Americans have used or are using probiotics or prebiotics, which I'm sure that's increased since now it's 2016. And it's the third most common dietary supplement other than vitamins and minerals. So why are probiotics so popular? Well, first of all, there's a growing concern of health in the U.S. People want to live longer, and people don't want to have to live with those different ailments. And there's an increasing prevalence of GI issues and other problems like obesity. And so people usually turn to the fad diets like from the media. The media puts on what's trending, and people want to follow that. And so probiotics kind of fall into that category. So probiotic facts, live microorganisms that are contained in food items or supplements is what probiotics are. And not all probiotics are the same. So to be considered a probiotic, the product has to have at least 100 million live bacteria per gram. And so like I was saying, that probiotics aren't all the same. There's different strands of bacteria in the probiotics, a different amount of bacteria, and the fillers and the supplements are different. And the survival time of the bacteria is different. So are probiotics regulated? Well, they're not, because they're under the umbrella of dietary supplements, and so the FDA does not review those. And so it's up to the manufacturer to do that work. So the manufacturer is the one who's responsible for putting out a product that actually works. So the FDA regulates drugs, which the definition of drugs would be to cure or treat or diagnose a disease, and that's not the definition of a dietary supplement. So overall, the FDA doesn't do any sort of authorization on the probiotic supplements. However, if probiotics were to be administered like a drug, like being prescribed from a doctor, then it would be more tightly regulated by the FDA, and there would be a lot more research on it. So overall, what is the importance of taking probiotics for people with GI issues? First off, I want to talk about the functions of bacteria in the gut. Bacteria synthesizes vitamin K and biotin, and then they degrade carbohydrates, some amino acids, and protein, and they secrete gases in the GI tract. And short-chain fatty acids from fermentation can help maintain epithelial cells and stimulate proliferation of cells, and it lowers the pH in the lumen. So those are the main functions of bacteria. So bottom line, bacteria in the GI tract is very crucial to overall health, and we need bacteria. So there's a couple of diseases in the GI tract that I want to talk about. Irritable bowel syndrome and antibiotic-induced diarrhea and an infectious disease caused by Clostridium difficile. So I read a study on irritable bowel syndrome, and it talked about the relationship between probiotics and irritable bowel syndrome, and it showed a correlation that it could help irritable bowel syndrome and its symptoms, but it didn't show that the research was concrete and that it for sure helps with the different symptoms. So all that they were saying was that there is a relationship between the two. So we definitely know that that relationship is there and that it could be good, but we don't really know for sure if it will treat it. And then there was another research article that I looked up, and it was talking about the antibiotic-induced diarrhea. And so a lot of people that take antibiotics have diarrhea. And the study showed that people that took probiotics that were also taking antibiotics didn't have the diarrhea. So there's definitely a positive correlation there between antibiotics and probiotics. So how does this work? It's similar to how bacteria works in the body. At least that's the hypothesis. There's not a for sure this is how probiotics work in the body, but these are the educated hypothesis on what would happen. So one of them is helping immune function in the GI tract and improving the barrier of epithelium in the GI tract, which I also talked about it with bacteria. But it can do this by secreting short-chain fatty acids, which decreases the colonic pH, increasing fecal bulk, which can make transit time quicker, which also means that there's less time for the harmful bacteria to make contact with the colon, and antagonizing harmful bacteria from colonizing will compete with attachment sites with the probiotics bacteria. So this other study that I read talked about diarrhea, infectious diarrhea, and if probiotics can help that. And without probiotics, 34 people out of 100 were diarrhea-free after 3 days. However, with probiotics, 55 people were diarrhea after 3 days. So probiotics made diarrhea go away faster in 21 people, which is fairly significant. So the probiotics pros and cons. So the pros, it's possibly beneficial for those with GI issues. And there's not very many side effects that are serious with probiotic supplements. Some of the cons are prices of supplements, which could go both ways because there are affordable supplements and some that aren't so affordable, so that can go in pros and cons. Another con is that it's not regulated by the FDA. There are some side effects reported, which is kind of known that if you take some sort of pill or supplement, you're going to have some sort of side effects, but for probiotics, they're not serious. And it's not known to be beneficial for healthy people. I also read a study that compared two groups of people that were equally healthy, and some of them took probiotics and some of them didn't. Well, the people that at the end, the bacteria in their guts wasn't really changed. So there's really no basis for people that are healthy that they need to take probiotics. And another con is that more research is needed. We really need more information about probiotics. And also, it's kind of hard to compare probiotics. For example, I bought Acuflora, and in the Acuflora, there's 5 different bacterial strains, and I compared that with Align, and Align only has 1. So in the Acuflora, there was 3 lactobacillus and 1 streptococcus and 1 bifidobacterium. But in the Align, there's just the bifidobacterium. So it's kind of hard to compare whenever they're completely different bacteria. So you would need to know to have 2 different kinds of bacteria that are the same, but different brands, and then you would be able to compare. And so here's a really good summarization of what probiotics do in the body. So you can see it, number 1 is talking about the immune system, and then the competitive inhibition and the reducing luminal pH. So common bacteria in probiotics include lactobacillus and bifidobacterium, which I talked about. But we really need to know more about probiotics. So we need to know specific the specific strains for different diseases for it to be, a drug, and we would need to know the dosage and the duration of treatment. So really, bacteria is a good thing. We really do need bacteria. It helps our GI system work and stay at homeostasis. However, there is harmful bacteria in our body too. And so the probiotics can help with that, like I talked about. So it's basically up to you whether you would decide to use probiotics if you had a GI issue. However, more research is needed, but there is that positive correlation that it can help with, or it could help with different diseases of the GI tract. We just need to know more, and there needs to be more research done. And those are my references. And that's it.